In all the fuss made about the penalty machine on Monday, there were so many things we weren't able to get to. But the powers that be told me a 2-hour show was out of the question. I wanted to tell them what Browner told Dennis Allen on Sunday, but how could I deprive y'all of seeing my mug 5 days a week? Guess I'll have to stick with the 6-minute thing, and I've already eaten up 20 seconds, so I guess it's time to get going on the Black and Gold Today. Up next! Welcome to the Black and Gold Today, sponsored by Cadillac of New Orleans. I'm your host who's warning you ahead of time I don't really have any good news, Jim Derry. As the Saints enter the fourth quarter of the season, it feels like the score is 35-10 bad guys, and Drew Brees just threw his third pick of the day on the 20-yard line. The season, which started so poorly, then got hopes sky high once again, well, it quickly fell apart with an 0-4 third quarter. It has many wondering about the future, the only coach who brought the Lombardi Trophy to the Big Easy. The current stretch of futility matches the worst streak of the Sean Payton era, with the first 4-game losing streak for this team since the first 4 of the 2007 season. Payton has never lost 5 in a row as a head coach. We'll see what happens on Sunday at Tampa. Rumors continue to swirl about what might happen in the offseason, not only with player personnel with a dicey salary cap, but with the head man in charge. And that's Sean Payton, in case you were wondering who I was talking about. These same rumors came up last year about this time, but the big difference was that was following an 11-5 season in which the team was in the Final Four in the NFC. Now, not only does Payton seem to have less enthusiasm about this current team, but Mickey Loomis and the numbers crunchers will have as tough a job as any other group in the NFL. They have to try to figure out how to upgrade this team with all the dead money eating up the precious cap space. And assuming Payton wants to stay and no weird trade is made to the Miami Dolphins or anybody else, his outlook for another season in New Orleans is good. Tom Benson has been in this situation before, with the 2 most successful coaches in team history prior to Payton, with Jim Haslett and Jim Mora. Most recently, after Haslett led the Saints to the first playoff victory in team history, he went 7-9, 9-7, 8-8, and 8-8 again with no playoff appearances. He was given another chance in 2005, before the disaster Hurricane Katrina inflicted. The team went 3-13 that season. Haslett was dismissed, and Payton was soon hired. A decade earlier, after Mora finished with double-digit victories in consecutive seasons twice, he was 8-8, 7-9, and 7-9 again, before he resigned in the middle of the 1996 season following a 2-6 start. Remember the Carolina Panthers, diddly poo? But remember, this is assuming Payton wants to stay. There's so much work to do with this team in the offseason, and realistically, in the next 2 or 3 offseasons to come, to make this team once again a championship contender. What will happen with Brees' contract? Will he rework his deal? If not, do the Saints keep him on at a salary cap of $28 million, or do they cut him and eat $10 million? And for those of you living in the past who say the latter will never happen, don't fool yourselves. It's a possibility. A trade's unlikely because of his salary cap hit. Well, with that good news, we'll leave you with that for a second. Be right back with Monday's Extra Point.
What's one of the nicest things that comes with your new Cadillac from Cadillac of New Orleans? 0% interest.
Get 0% interest on all new Cadillacs, now at Cadillac of New Orleans. New owners, new attitude, on Lime Street in Rye in Metairie.
For today's Extra Point, let's go all the way back to Week 13. Was I the only one who found it interesting at all, the ex-Saints who played well this weekend? Well, in the late game, Sunday, while the Black and Gold were facing off against Carolina, 2 Philadelphia Eagles were going off against the New England Patriots. First, Malcolm Jenkins picked off a Tom Brady pass midway through the third quarter to not only stop the Patriots from retaking a lead, but he took it 99 yards to the house to flip the game and give the Eagles a 21-14 lead. 3 minutes later, it was Darren Sproles. Yeah, Mighty Mouse took a punt 83 yards for a touchdown and to give the Eagles a 28-14 lead on their way to a big win. In Detroit, Issa Abdul-Quddus had 11 tackles and a forced fumble, although the Lions were done in by a miracle by Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers last Thursday night. And last night in Washington, remember that guy who wasn't good enough to kick for the Saints? Yeah, the one before they cut Zach Cocker to pick up the Redskins' reject. Well, Dustin Hopkins was 3 of 4 against the Cowboys, although he did miss for the first time all season inside of 50 yards. And the list goes on and on and on. But remember, my boss said I had to watch the clock, and it's right there. The clock says it's time to go. Join me tomorrow when columnist Jeff Duncan and I will talk more about the Saints' future, and we'll also sneak in a little bit about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, our next foe. Also, we might just take a look at Jeff's best bets for Week 14. You don't want to miss it. See you then.